And when he rides by in a shiny car, to him, it's just a monkey in a car. White people built a car, put a monkey in it, trained the monkey to drive the car, so now you're looking at a monkey in a car. See, but black people don't see themselves that way. But this is how the white supremacists see us, and they are the ones who run our business. And we have to know that when they look at us, that's what they see. That's what they see. That's what they see. And at a subliminal level, what they see begins to spill over into our brains so that we, at a subliminal level, see each other that way. And indirectly see ourselves that way. And that's why here it is in the year 2008, we have no problem slaughtering each other and think it's fun. You can hear the 9mm popping in the night even as we speak. That's black people out there having fun, because that's what we're doing. F-U-N, that's what that comes under. That's entertainment. Killing each other. That's fun. That's almost the definition of black fun. If we're not doing that, we're not really having fun. If we're not doing harm to each other, saying something derogatory, and really, the crown and jewel, killing another black person, we're not really living. And we don't even know that that's our culture. And the white supremacists have very carefully engineered it. Now, this is very important to know in order to solve our problems. Because you say, well, now, knowing that, Fuller, what's the solution? One is very simple. Black people shouldn't even be in contact with each other unless they're talking about something constructive. That means the cell phone should be dead silent most of the time. Because you listen to the average black conversation in this area of the world on a cell phone, and what do you hear? You don't hear anything that's necessary to be said.
Mr. Fuller, I have another caller, area code 404. 404. Area code 404. Are you on?
I'm here.
You have a question for Mr. Fuller?
Yes, peace, Neely Fuller. I read your book a few years ago. Great book. I have one question about the upcoming election. I'd just like to know your opinion on Barack Obama.
My opinion on him, how?
How do you feel about it?
As relates to what?
Well, a lot of people that are, so-called conscious, they feel like this is an accomplishment. You know, I feel otherwise. I'd just like to know, how do you personally feel about Barack Obama in the upcoming election?
You go, what I think about him.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think that he's running for election.
But do you think this is an accomplishment?
I don't know. Now, that's my answer to a whole lot of questions. I don't know, and I won't know. Mm-hmm. But I do know this, what I'm going to do. See, because codification is about, when you look at a situation, you have to take a position. I don't care what the situation is. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're driving down the street, I mean, and suddenly, I mean, you hear sirens everywhere. You got to take a position. Mm-hmm. Okay? Or if someone tells you that a black person is running for president, mm-hmm. and the black person says they're going to try to help straighten out problems. Mm-hmm. Now, what position are you supposed to take? Mm-hmm. So I ask myself that, just like you're asking me now. What position do I take? See, not how I feel. What position do I take according to science? Okay. The position that I take according to science is twofold. Two things. One, I'm going to vote for Mr. Obama. Two, after I vote, I'm going to act like everything is the same as if I didn't vote. Which means what? I'm going to continue on course to try to solve problems just the way that I've always tried to do. And I recommend that everybody else do the same. And if you want to add an addition, a footnote to that, don't expect problems to be solved, but continue to try to solve them. That's it. So you don't have to sit down and do a lot of head scratching. See, codification is about coming to the most logical conclusion, and you do that after doing some thinking. Once you come to your conclusion, that's it. That's what a conclusion means, because you have already done the science. You have already done the math. That if you haven't done the science and math, then you shouldn't come to a conclusion until you do. But this should be done in a codified manner. And once something is codified, once a procedure is codified, and that is a codified procedure, the person said they're going to try to solve problems in the best possible manner. That's what Mr. Obama has said he's going to try to do.
You mentioned racial...
Hello?
I was about to ask you about racial showcasing. Does this fall into that category?
It could. It could. But see, it comes down to what do you do? Do I sit in the barber shop and argue back and forth? I don't do that. What I do is say, you know what? After everything is said and done, I can do one of two things after I listen to Mr. Obama, Mr. McCain, listen to Adolf Hitler, listen to anybody. Now, what is it that I do? See, codification is about not only doing your thinking and all like that, but you have to come to a conclusion about what you are going to do. And what I'm going to do is go to the polls, and I'll tell people up front, I'm going to vote for Mr. Obama. But I'm not going to expect anything. Now, that's very important to put those two things together, because disappointment comes from expectation. See, and I do not intend to be disappointed. So I take care of all that up front. In other words, stay the course that I stay. Every other black person out here who's trying to do something, every other white person, for that matter, who's trying to do something constructive, just accelerate whatever it is you're trying to do. Don't look to the left or to the right, or go somewhere and sit down and say, now that Mr. Obama has won, or now that he has lost, woe is me. Or if he wins it, everything is going to be hallelujah time. Or if he loses it, then everything is despair time. That is the type of pattern that black people usually set themselves up for. Whereas they should say, I'm going to vote for him and let the chips fall where they may, and whichever way they fall, the day after the election, I'm going to continue my course, because I'm supposed to have a course. If every non-white person on the planet takes that position every time the sun comes up, regardless of what anybody is doing anywhere, and get away from the idea of sitting down and looking for a Messiah. Don't ever do that. It's okay to look for a Messiah, but not while you're sitting down.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're supposed to look up and suddenly a Messiah is there. See what I mean?
Right.
If a Messiah is coming, I don't care what kind of Messiah it is, when you look up, you're supposed to be looking up from some work that you're already doing. And say, oh, I don't have to do this work anymore. A Messiah is here. But I didn't know that. I wasn't even looking for one. You know, I was too busy. I took for granted that one might come, because one may come. But I'm not sitting down. Because when you sit down at the side of the road and keep looking up the road, craning your neck for the Messiah to come, and then it gets dark and you're still sitting beside the road, and then you get hungry and you have no water and no food, and you're still sitting there and you're craning your neck, now you start going into what they call despair. And then after that, then you start getting mad. then you start cussing and fuming and kicking the dirt. Whereas if you hadn't been sitting there in the first place, you wouldn't be going through all of that.
We have another caller, Mr. Fuller. This is area code 718. Are you there? 718. You have a question for Mr. Fuller? Okay. Area, we got another caller. 520?
Yes.
Area code 520?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
You have a question for Mr. Fuller?
Yes, I'm asking about the average non-white person, and this is a term that Mr. Fuller has talked about as far as the average white person. Now, as we look around, just anecdotally, I think that the average white person will not tell you their current condition in terms of economically, but my question is what it's going to take for an average white person to sort of hitch their wagon to a non-white person in terms of their goals.
The answer is, I don't know. That's why I wrote a book that says what a non-white person is supposed to do. I have talked to some white people over the years, and I've listened to some white people who say they're doing all that they can and all like that. And I go according to the code when people tell me that, when white people tell me that. And that the code says what I do when they tell me that is not argue, but listen. And when they finish talking, say, well, you say that you are trying to solve the problem. I'll know that the problem is solved when it is. And that's all I have to say. I don't argue. I don't debate. I don't go into a lot of details, because I will come up with the same frame of reference, the same conclusions, the same best approach at the end of a long conversation, so I just make it a short conversation. The white people of this planet will either decide that they want a planet run on the principle of justice, or they want a planet run like it is now on the principle of racism.
Okay.
No.
They will either decide that. That is a decision for them to make. The white people that you work, if you work on a job where there are white people and whatnot, that's just the way the code says you put it. That they don't have to ask you anything. All they have to do is decide, well, racism is passé, and I'm going to see to it that it is. And that's an announcement. Or, I don't know what to do about it, and I'm not concerned about it, or, I am concerned about it, but I don't know what to do about it, or some other response. But these are decisions that white people can make on their own without anything, any input at all from a non-white person.
So would it be like
that's the code position. It's like, let me make an analogy, and then you can continue. Let's say that I'm Amos on the plantation, which is what the world is. And Amos, myself, I'm called up to the big house. And the master comes out on the porch and says, Amos, I'm thinking about going out of the slavery business. And I'm thinking about treating everybody right. And I'm making a plan to do that accordingly. And I have called you up here to the big house today to tell you that that's what I am in the process of doing. And you know what the code says that I'm supposed to say?